It's the old Doctor Who show, episode number 164. Joy to the world. Dan, we're back. It's
Hey,
been so long since it's been months.
it's been a real long time. Happy holidays.
Yes.
Let's cover all the ground that we missed since the last time we spoke. So
The
any
last
big
time we spoke was Big Finish, July, summertime, Dan, I
Wow, okay.
believe was the
Has
last time.
anything happened since then? It feels like it's been a
Mm-hmm.
pretty slow news year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. I saw A Complete Unknown, mixed
Yeah.
feelings, Dan.
Okay.
Young Timothy Chalamet is great. Um, so he did that well. I feel like I have to watch it again. I'm a big Bob Dylan fan, as you can see. Anyone looking at the video, you can see a blonde on blonde behind me. So I'm
Oh,
predisposed to sort of
you
enjoy it. I like
to
that
want to
era
like it.
of Bob Dylan. Like it's good. The acting's all good. There's some parts that I didn't love, but whatever. It's fine.
Eric, there's
It's a
something more important to talk
biopic.
about. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome. I do want
I'm
to see
gonna
it.
say, hey, if you want to see that era, I would say both Martin Scorsese, Bob Dylan documentaries. I would
Above
watch
this one.
those. No Direction Home's fantastic. It's essentially the same time period.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you learn more and connect more with Bob Dylan in that than you will in this, but it's good. I think I gotta watch it again. I feel like I gotta watch it again, and that's gonna tell me really where I
I'm
land. So
just
I'm
sitting here
saying high sevens,
laughing because this is
7.6.
now the Bob Dylan podcast.
Hmm.
What it
Well, I
is
would have led with Dune
I was gonna say
Prophecy.
it is the secret backdoor Dune podcast. Obviously, have
Also
you
have mixed feelings,
have you
very
completed
mixed
it?
feelings on it. I say if I won't spoil anything. So if you're tuning
Ah,
in because you're expecting a Doctor Who podcast and you're
well,
like, oh, I'm going to get Dune spoiled, you won't get Dune spoiled.
okay.
If I separate Dune Prophecy from Dune,
Wait,
my
Dune,
Arrakis,
like Dune, like the books, like your
like the
experience with the
books,
books, as
like,
opposed to okay.
yeah, because there's things in it that don't feel Frank Herberty to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Is the source
and I
material
think it's
from his son though? Is
Yeah,
that
I
right?
mean, from what
Okay.
I've read, that this is very much based on a trilogy of books that his son wrote,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Sisterhood of Dune, Mentats of Dune, and something else of Dune. So
Wow,
it's fine.
really lost it on that last title.
It's
Just like
good. It gets very
something of Dune.
right. I mean, I
Right.
understand that it's going to get a second season, so you
Yeah.
end on a cliffhanger of sorts.
Yeah.
It's fine. The acting's fine. It's only 6 episodes. I feel
I
like
think
it
the
needed
acting was great.
8. I
Acting
feel
was
like
great.
some characters are a little underdeveloped. I feel like I don't, again, I don't like to crap on anyone's performance. Doing this stuff is hard.
Sure.
I don't love the main
but
villain.
but let me proceed to crap on it. Well,
Yeah. So like
who's the
I didn't
villain?
connect with him. Like his
Who
acting, like I didn't, it
who's
wasn't
the who is the villain though?
uh Desmond,
I mean, he's a
right?
villain. He's a villain.
Well, I
Maybe
would
he's
say
not
he's
about.
the
I
main
don't.
antagonist,
I
100%.
mean, there's
All
something to
day
be
long. I'll
said.
defend that in court. He's
There's something to
clearly
be
the main
said.
antagonist.
There's something to be said for Mother Superior being the villain.
Yeah, I guess.
I
Sure, you could
mean,
say they're pulling the strings, but you're
yeah.
supposed to sort of root.
Well, the anti-hero for sure, but like definitely not.
It's fine. I think it's sort of fine. There's stuff that I
Tell me
don't
something.
like.
Can you tell me something? I
Something
need an
I
expert.
like.
No, an expert opinion. So the part that I
Okay.
they talk they in this series, here comes a little bit of a spoiler. We
Okay,
see
be careful. Skip
where
ahead.
the voice came from, like
Yeah.
how that evolved. Is that anything you've like that felt very, especially
No.
the way that
Here's
was
the
used.
thing. Okay,
Where
spoilers. Spoilers.
Get that shield up!
Spoilers.
especially
Get
the
away from this.
way
Dan and I
let
are
me
going to
finish.
talk freely. It
Especially
feeds
the
in with what
part
you're saying.
towards the end when they're doing flashbacks and we see that she taught it to the her other sisters that were with her,
She did,
and
yeah.
they just use it like a weapon. Just
It's
that
fine.
didn't feel right to me. Is that
Well,
does that
this
jive
is
with
where it
other?
gets. I feel like it gets kind of corny.
Okay.
I'm tired of prologues or prequels, right?
Sure.
Or I don't need the thing about the Bene Gesserits is the mystery. I
Mm.
don't need to know the first time the voice was used. I don't
Sure.
need to take the
How
litany of
angry he's
fear.
getting. Look how
Again, get
angry he's
the
getting.
litany of fear should not be
Watch
a literal
watch the vein on
mind
his forehead.
killer.
It's gonna pop out this
The
vein.
litany of fear should not be a literal mind killer.
No,
Like
no,
my eyes rolled all the
no,
way
no,
back
no.
into, and I became a mentat trying to calculate how much spice I needed to do to fold space. That kind of stuff is corny. I like
Okay.
the actors and I liked the politics. It
Hmm.
feels like it's heavily leaning into like trying to be more Game of Thrones, whereas Game of
Yeah,
Thrones
for
was trying to be
sure.
more Dune.
Yeah.
Um, so there's again, if I separate, like if I pretend it's not Dune, and I'm just like, okay, this is some sci-fi show that's Dune-like, I feel like I like it more.
I think it
The
actually
the
was that. It was kind of
the
a sci-fi show that was Dune-like.
I mean, the Emperor's daughter, I forget the character's name, the
Sure.
actress's name. I feel like that's
Yep.
a character that's really kind of underdeveloped. I feel like the stepson of the
Yep.
Emperor was kind of a dud. I mean, I
Yep.
guess like eventually he's gonna. Like, that's what I mean. It's like there's only 6 episodes,
It's a
so they
lot
can
of
only
setup.
develop so much. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like it should have been on like Sci-Fi Channel in the mid 2000s or something.
We already had one of those.
Yeah, we did. It's fine. I feel bad talking negatively about anything, and I should be happy that there is Dune. And there's stuff like, oh, face dancers.
Is
Again,
that
underdeveloped. Just like,
But
okay,
is
there's a
that
face
is
dancer.
that accurate to the books? Because I haven't in my
Yes.
reading. I've only read two of the books, so I haven't encountered that.
Okay, so I don't remember when the Telilaxu face dancers come into. They
Hmm.
can essentially take any form
Right.
and look like that person. Then there's Golas. Did you get into Golas in your
I don't
reading?
think so. No.
You must have if you read Dune Messiah.
Then I don't remember.
Okay. So
I
yeah,
only read it
I don't want to
once.
spoil
Okay.
Dune,
Well,
but
anyway.
in the books of Dune, I'll spoil it now because I already said people can skip ahead.
Weirding modules destroyed.
You can take like a cell. I think you can take a cell or some part of a person's DNA, and you
Hmm.
can craft essentially like a replica of them that
Oh,
can then. I don't want to say anything
okay. I
because I'm
got you
afraid
though.
of what I'll
But
say.
so that
But
may have.
you can make sort of copies of people, and I'll leave it at
Gotcha.
that. There's more to it than that. Face dancers are creatures that can look like someone else. So you can have
Right.
a Golo, which is like a reproduction of someone,
Right.
or you can have a face dancer which makes themselves Game of Thrones when you have the
Mm.
assassins where he puts on the different like it's basically that.
It is that. Okay.
It's fine.
Gotcha.
One of
Gotcha.
those characters is in Dune Prophecy, but goes nowhere. They used
Mm.
that ability once, and then they sort of use that
They
ability, and
didn't
then
really.
but she
It was
doesn't
very
even.
strange. No.
Yes,
It.
she looks like one of the actresses, and then later looks like someone else.
I'm guessing
Looks like
that
a soldier. And it's like,
she
why did
had
you
to.
even?
Because she had to change her plan because
Scene
she
missing.
insisted on bringing the swordmaster with her, so she
Yeah,
had
I
to
don't know.
like
I
switch
feel
it.
like
But it was
Dune
very weird,
Prophecy is a show that if we did a proper review,
which we won't.
I would end up hating it
Yes, you
by
would.
the end. Like as I find more things to be a pain in the ass
Well,
about.
speaking of shows that we end up
Yeah, we're
hating
not here to talk about Dune.
after watching them for an extended period of time, why don't we talk about Doctor Who?
Yes. So if you've made it this long, and you got to understand, Dan and I have not talked. You guys
No,
think we're friends all the time. We're just constantly talking.
no, this is
No.
obligation. This is not
No. I've
friendship.
done I did the Trap One podcast 2 times, I think, or one time.
I've been
I
left
don't remember
behind.
if I had done it the last time we talked, but I did. Shout out to the Trap One boys. Conrad Westmus had me on again to talk about Doctor Who comics. But my point was, I feel like, did I do 2 other podcasts in
Oh my
between our
goodness.
podcast?
Just because Eric does things that are like, artistic endeavors and in the comics
Yeah.
world, I've read a
So
comic book before. Invite me. No, this is great.
yeah. So the point is, Dan
The
and I
point
have
is
not talked.
he's
So
leaving me behind.
if I'm having an episode where I'm just saying, oh, and then I saw this, and I got to talk about this, it's because I have not talked to Dan, and I
This is true.
missed him. And we
Aw.
haven't had a chance to even talk about Dune Prophecy.
No,
But we're
not
not
really.
here to talk about Dune Prophecy. We're here to talk about Doctor Who, Joy to the World, the Christmas special, from what I've heard, the last Stephen Moffat Doctor Who in maybe quite some time, maybe forever.
That might
So
be
let's
okay.
hit that button, shake the crime stick. Shake the crime stick!
Is this Christmas?
Yes, we're doing a special Christmas everywhere all at once.
This is Doctor Who, Joy to the World, written by Stephen Moffat, directed by Alex Sanjeev Pillay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right.
That's probably
Apologies.
right.
You directed some episodes of Riverdale that I probably saw, so hats off to you. The Doctor has upgraded the TODWS to find free milk. Right? I think that's how it started. And
that's
then
pretty
he
much the whole
realizes
plot.
that there's
Yeah.
someone in the hotel that's standing weird. And what follows is a
Standing weird.
several stories. It feels like several different episodes made into one episode that ultimately proves that COVID was bad, Christmas is real, Jesus is in the Doctor Who universe. Dan, what did you think of Joy to the World? Judging by that exhale, it does not sound promising.
I both disliked it and was so
Yes?
bored I fell asleep during part of it.
No.
For like a second. I did not enjoy practically. Okay, maybe whatever. I'm gonna go into this saying I didn't like it, and then maybe I'll come out
Okay.
the other side being
Yeah.
like, actually, it wasn't bad.
Wow.
I am on record of saying how much of a Shooty fan I am. Fantastic, wonderful.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what this Doctor's doing. I'm not sure what's going on here. I love him. I love aspects of this character. The story.
You got two of them in this one, so like
we did.
He had two times to win you over, and it seems like
there were some fun. I mean, there's some fun things to this. It wasn't a terrible episode. There were some fun things. For some reason, the beginning of it, it felt like I'd already seen that episode before. I didn't even watch the trailer.
Are you talking about the cold opening where you get the different?
He's going through.
Here's Everest.
Has he done a thing like that before? Where he's
maybe, I don't know. They all kind of feel a little similar.
He's going from place to place, and it's like he's got the food on tray, but it felt
pumpkin
like,
latte.
I swear to God,
cheese sandwich or something.
I stopped playing and went back and made sure it was the actual correct one. Anyway, it's fine. So that was strange. I like the idea of the Time Hotel. That's a pretty cool thing, though. You would think that the Doctor would know of this place. Like, he's kind of been around for a long time, and he was very surprised that this existed. It was a lot of like, the techno babble that you'll get in a lot of sci-fi shows. Same here, which is like, well, they're all connected, so there can't be a paradox here. And it's just like this weird, like, plot contrivance thing to make it happen. The extras standing around and milling about in a lobby wearing period pieces for like half an hour was just so strange to me. Like, I don't know. Eric, I don't have a coherent kind of through line for this, other than
not positive though.
It wasn't great, and then it ended with Jesus. So, well, no, actually, it did not.
Jesus, star.
It just ended with Bethlehem. We don't know what happens after that.
Yeah, it doesn't officially say it. That could have been 2 towns over or 2 houses over.
Just what a weird coincidence.
Where the star was. No, Dan, I had mixed feelings about this. Mostly, I feel like negative feelings, but I will say the ideas are great.
Okay, tell me why they're great.
I like the idea of and this feels like a very Stephen Moffat thing, like every hotel room has a locked door, and this is what they're for, and
there's
a hotel that is connected to all these. It feels like an interesting fairy tale. If that was the plot line of a new Monsters Inc. movie, you'd be like, okay, yeah, there's all the closets are connected.
But that's not a thing that exists in the world. Like, that's not a thing that exists in the world.
I have seen hotels. I have seen
lockouts
hotels
between the 2 rooms.
You can other rooms.
That's what they are.
I have seen rooms, not in every hotel, but if you go into a VRBO or something, and you can't go in that room, you don't know what's cleaning supplies or the bodies of the people that came before you.
It's most of the bodies.
I'm okay with that. The doors are locked. Everyone. What I didn't like is the Doctor saying, "Oh, you can tell a lot by a person by which hotel room that they pick. And it's like, no, dude, it's been a long time. The hotel room you get is the one you could afford, because not everybody has a ton of money, where it's like, literally, I'm giving me whatever, what can I
Right.
please? It has nothing to do with what your personality
Well, I mean,
is
he did
about.
say that. That's I was
He's
at first I was
oh,
like,
your house is like a mask, but when your hotel room, the one you pick is it's like, that's not how life works.
No, it's the one that you'll settle for, is the absolute least that you'll settle for, right?
Well,
That's
he
what
says
he's
like
getting
the
at.
thing that you need, like this. It says basically, and then somehow that tied to her, the anti-COVID stuff with her poor mom, and she had to see her mom die, and then the fat cats that set the rules. A lot of that was
Yeah.
like, okay, but also we didn't know what was going on, and so
Yeah, it was
whatever.
It
was
was
a
a
little weird to
weird
have
it
that
was a weird way to
little
go
bit
with
of
that.
COVID thing
Yeah.
in. And then like the Jesus stuff, I watched it twice. So the
Oh,
first
no.
time through, when you get to the end and the Bethlehem thing, and then when you watch it again, you're like, wow, there's a lot of Jesus stuff.
Is there?
You know, oh yeah, like when Jesus went to all the hotels and they were all booked, and the doctor's like, oh, all the rooms are booked, and then
I'd like a room for my wife and myself.
So would everyone. We have too many people here now.
here comes Joy, and she's basically the Messiah figure, and she's going to die for our sins and
they
fly
spent
up
a
into
full
heavens.
half hour at a Catholic mass for some reason. We just
Yeah.
watched the entire liturgy. You're right. There was a lot of Jesus stuff in there.
But
Wait, no,
but the thing that keeps me liking this episode and not hating it completely was, I would have loved the 1 year where the doctor is meeting the woman that works there and they develop a relationship. Although I will say it's a one-sided relationship, because you don't ever really know anything about this woman other than she sits in the seat with the doctor and he says, hey, you remember the weeping angels? Like, hey, whatever. But
Yeah.
that I liked. When
I thought she was wonderful. I like the actress.
The actress was great.
She did a lot with very little.
It told you a lot about the doctor's character. It felt. I can't get that word out. It felt like a good cap to the first season, or first new season, or whatever, the first Shudigatwa season, about how he's wrestling with being alone and not having any companions and needing a friend. I thought it was a little weird at the end. She's like, go find a friend. And he's like, not going to see Rose. Not Rose. Yeah, New Rose? Not New Rose.
Ruby.
Ruby. You get a shot of her like calling her mom, but it's also like, hey, you could literally just end this now. But I guess
I like that he walked out of the TARDIS when he went to get the milk, and he had the two mugs and habits are, which was a very David Tennant sort of like, okay,
totally.
what happened?
And that stuff is cool.
That.
And I even like the sort of the dim-witted hotel guy that was,
I thought he was great.
I thought he was good until like the
funny.
end, and then he was like, I told you I would hook you up. And it's hard to understand exactly what happens with the star. Like, it's a rich corporation that they established in Boom, right? Because he knows the name of it, and that wants to grow a star, and so it needs a time machine, and the only access to the time machine they have is the hotel. But they must have known, because we have to go back to the dinosaurs. But it's almost like the briefcase person's just randomly going through doors. You would think they would go right to the oldest room, because you would advertise that.
And they were saying it was that like the higher up the floor.
Yeah, like if you want the dinosaur room, you're gonna pay X, and it's on the top floor, and like that would be your first question when you were trying to get. But I guess whatever.
Where's the oldest
rooms?
Yeah,
fine. What else? What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. I got distracted by
you liked that part.
No, so like
the corporation, they're going to grow a star in the time. Yeah,
thank you, Dan. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I listen.
So why are they saying the line, which is also a Jesus line, like the star, whatever,
Starseed will bloom and the flesh will rise.
Filthy.
And the flesh will rise, right? Because Jesus will rise from the dead right after he's killed. Why are they saying that?
I don't know why the flesh. What do they mean? The flesh will
What
rise?
value does that have if it's just a corporation that wants to take over your body and get you to deliver? Why not just hire someone to do that? Like, I don't even, whatever. So
A sentient briefcase with the manacle.
Yeah, that has to like take over your body, but like,
and then
why
has to kill
add
them? It
the
has to
part
kill
about
them too. There was no reason that each person had to, I mean, it's the stakes of the show, I guess. It's always that thing. It always comes back to this, and I complain every time. Why are the stakes always people have to die? There are other stakes. Like,
Yeah,
why did
right.
we have to kill half a dozen people to get here?
And then it also sort of feeds into your mind and tells you what you. I forget what the doctor says, but why say that whole like religious thing other than to be cryptic?
Sure.
And then it seems to come and go, and he's like, figures out immediately, he's like, I could just insult you to death, and then you will get all of your faculties until the point of the story when we need you to lose that again.
Then that's all bets are off. Yeah.
It was fine, but like those quiet moments, and like, I will tell you this too. Now
Please
that
do.
I'm crapping on people, and I hate that I'm doing this. I watched it. I usually watch these episodes or these stories over speakers or something, or on a TV or wherever. I watched this the first time on my headphones.
Okay.
And I was hit with how heavy-handed some of the musical cues are.
They always are, yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, like I understand this is the heartwarming scene, but it's just
very
like,
much
just pump the brakes a little bit.
Very melodrama,
and let the scene breathe, and just let the actors do the acting.
No. It needs
so much music.
It needs to tell you how to feel the whole way through.
Yeah, I noticed that, whereas I don't always notice that. But it was very obvious with the way I had my headphones on.
Something I did enjoy, and I
we didn't get to Mavity, but like put a little thing in Mav.
Really?
Yeah, that's a big one. So we gotta make sure I return to that.
That's what we call a tease. Stick with us. I love the actress was Nicola Coughlan from Dairy Girls. Yes, and I like that she was, in all the advertising for it. She was like the, special guest star, but she really wasn't the companion. Like which I kind of liked. I liked that there was a bit of, at least they played with this a little bit and being like, it's not the same thing we do every time. It's a one-off companion. It's who's going to die.
Yes,
which every time too.
Yeah, I understand that, but I almost wish that they'd combine those characters into one character, so that the doctor spent a year with her and got to know her, and then learned about her personality and why she lets people walk all over her, and then he was able to figure that out.
Sure.
Would do whatever, and then when she dies at the end, you would feel something.
But he did. He said he learned it because he spent a year in her hotel room that she was in for all of 5 minutes. But he spent a year there, so he figured out everything there was to know about her, so he knew exactly how to get under her skin.
It was fine. It was like two stories. That's what it felt like. There was the story,
and I liked
the things.
The long way around part of the story. I did like that. I actually really enjoyed the two of them together. Though you're right, it was a very one-sided relationship, and she knew it was going to end all along, and he was going to sneak out because that's what he does. But that part was actually a lot of fun. And what did you think of the?
Was she going to kill herself? Like, she's checking into the hotel room by herself.
Oh, joy! Oh, I don't know what she was doing.
What was her any of it?
The first moment
was the anniversary of her mom's death, right?
First scene that we see her, yes. And the hotel, we should learn the character's name, but the hotel concierge that takes her, leaves her for a second to go get towels, and she's talking to a fly.
Yeah, and so it's like I thought I was going to be alone, but now I have a friend. And it's like, even when you hate yourself as much as I hate myself, you're not talking to a fly in the room.
No, you're talking to a sock puppet that you keep in your pants pocket when no one's around.
Which I guess was supposed to endear you to her.
But it didn't. Not to me, anyway.
It didn't. And I thought, like, when she said, single room, and, like, the other one's single room, and then she was like, does a show? She thought you meant single. That was cute. Like, that was enough, cute. I feel like, to establish that. It's fine. The little TARDISes were cute.
They were cute.
Like the doctor that there was the TARDISes.
They were online. There's a bunch of them online for some reason. Very cute. There was a lot of like winking like that, which was.
And I do like the stories of like the doctor that's no longer a doctor. He's made human, or he has to live out with the human life, and like the temptation of staying that way and giving that up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like they played with that enough.
No.
It was like, he was like, time to go.
I guess I'm just waiting for a year.
I had a whole year to realize that I get these connections with people and then immediately abandon them. I'm abandoning you. And then he went like, he literally spent a year with her.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And then
it's a long time.
And it's fine. So now she's working at the Time Hotel.
But you're right. Like,
revisit that character.
No sense that he learned a thing about her. Not a single thing, which, okay, it's fine.
It's
But
fine. He's going to have a new
told
friend.
her-
Jesus is in the Doctor Who universe. I feel like that's
That's pretty good.
bigger than their.
I mean, it's
like that. What does that mean?
it's
Is
the
Jesus
biggest.
literally in
It's
the,
the
like?
biggest.
Does he have a power level that's comparable to the Maestro? Is he
He's a
part
Time
of
Lord.
the pantheon?
He's part of the pantheon. Here it goes. Okay, let's get back to the most important thing. Mavity? Again?
Mavity,
Really?
yes.
Really?
It came, and again, when it hit, I was like, I'm not falling for this crap.
Please tell
again.
me. Please tell me.
So the Doctor is talking to the dim-witted, but with a heart of gold,
Mm-hmm.
person that
Porter,
works at the hotel.
bellhop, yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
He's now in the computer.
In the computer. It's so simple.
Yes.
He's like, Doctor, I told you I wouldn't give up, and I meant it, and here I am. And the Doctor's like, okay, you got to give me anything. Let me know what the temperature readings are. Let me know what the Mavity, like the.
Did he
Mavity
say that?
Can you access air density, humidity, temperature, rotational Mavity, anything I can use to narrow it down?
I heard it, and I was like, you son of a bitch.
Fucking
Am I going back to thinking we're in the fractured timeline universe that's going to collapse, and this, and finally I'll be right, and 14 people on the internet will realize it? No, I'm not falling for it. It's meaningless. I'm not
he was
putting
in a
meaning
hotel
into it.
room. He was in
But
a
he
hotel
says
room in London. He was in London, right? Was it London? Did they even say?
I'm not even sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was there for a year. Did he just stay in the hotel the whole time? He didn't pop over to Donna's to see.
Right. Well,
the
that's also what I was going to say. Like
That doctor
he's
had a
sitting here and
TARDIS.
he has
That
her come
doctor
in.
Has a
There-
TARDIS.
The whole
Right?
reason why he had to wait was because they say something in the hotel rooms, like on certain dates the doors become unlocked when they.
But he
when
knew
they
it
don't-
was going to be Christmas.
They don't. Yes, the
He knew what it was
doors
gonna be.
become unlocked. By the way, and they say this when it doesn't have a resident. It's like local residents to the local area are using this room, and it won't. The Doctor doesn't leave the room, so therefore they wouldn't ever open the door because
No, but he wasn't. But he wasn't a resident. He didn't like.
Well, he's renting the room.
Did he actually rent it? No, he broke into that.
He
room.
rented the room for a year. I thought he said, I'm going to rent this room for a year. And she's like, what?
Well,
And then
he rented the room in that timeline, but not from the
Yes.
Time Hotel.
No, but I'm
He
saying
didn't-
in the Time Hotel, when he tries to go into one room,
Yeah.
he hits the thing. When he goes
Right.
to see the old couple that are watching the World War II bombing
Yes.
thing going on.
Yeah.
The first time he tries to open it, the hotel is like, hey,
You can't go in.
You can't go in. The current residents in the local time zone are occupying the room.
Right.
This room is not available. While guests local to the time period are still in residence, the room is not available to the Time Hotel.
Right. Well, no.
So what I'm saying is, like, if that's how the rules of the thing are, does it wait for the room to be empty and then the door is allowed to be open for their people to go into?
The way I heard that, I interpreted it was they were the residents from the Time Hotel were in the local time zone, and until they left, you couldn't go in.
Oh no, I
and
think
that the older
old people
couple
weren't from the time zone.
I didn't think they.
I mean, I think they were
the cold open.
from our time, from the normal
it wasn't
time,
clear.
not time.
It wasn't clear. It
Okay.
wasn't clear. I mean,
I
you're
think they
probably
were
right.
Local people.
You're probably right because then
And
there's
then
the woman in the
whole thing with
hotel
the-
in the train car as well. She was probably.
Why
local
did
to
we
that
need
time.
all those people?
We didn't.
And I kept thinking, like, were they people from other Doctor Who stories? I don't think so. There's a Murder on the Orient Express. Like, she's writing the book, reading the book, and then she's writing a letter, and then there's the whole thing like, oh, tell him no, I'll tell her yes, or whatever they were doing. Was it like his idea of like, oh, it's funny that women can like women? That's hysterical. I don't know. It's just like it felt weird. Like, what was the?
I don't know.
We're still making that joke, I guess, is also part of them.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
right. That's true.
Why are those things there?
I
mean, we got a dinosaur in school, and I guess you just have fun, right? So people are probably very mad at me because, like, why not just have fun? But then they do the train thing where they can't get through the stone door, and then he goes and he steals a rope and he throws the anchor out. And it reminded me of The Simpsons when that's how Homer stops the monorail.
Dad?
There you go.
It's fine, Dan. It's fine. But anyway, so those characters weren't anyone. Like that woman.
They didn't seem to be.
Is not supposed to be someone that I should know.
I don't. It didn't seem to be.
The Everest was like Sir Hillary of the Hillarys or whatever, the guy that climbed Everest. So that made like that was a historical moment. The Murder on the Orient Express, the fact that the book was there and she's on the Orient Express, like was that a like was that a person, a historical person, or
it did?
just
if it was,
person?
It wasn't clear to me. Maybe it was clear to a British audience.
Sir Edmund Hillary. I could not think of.
That was the one. That's the one.
I believe
Sir
it's
Edmund Hillary Swank. Yep.
Sir Edmund Hillary Swank. It's all fine.
Okay, so
there's been worse. I didn't hate it
worse.
until the end, and when I saw the Bethlehem thing, I was like, ugh.
So why did her mom turn into stardust? Why did she turn into a star? Why did her mom die?
I don't know.
I
don't understand, and I'm trying to figure this out. So
and that was 4 years ago. But okay,
well, that's the thing. So she goes and she meets the star back in time, right? She back in time when she talks to the briefcase, and she's like, "I'm gonna connect with you on a deep emotional level." And then does she does the briefcase go into her, or does she just connect with it and then and then she's like, because the next time you see her, she's like floating
up,
like she's on a cross,
a little bit.
She's floating out there and saying, "I will die for your sins." And he's like, "I'm supposed to help you." And she's like, "No." But is she saying like the star went in her, but it went in all of us? Like the star is in me and it's in you and it's in her mom. And that's why when the star was there, that, because we're all made of stars, like everything in my body, your body, everything is made from the same elements that are in space.
Wait, so
what? Were they saying like the Joy Star is part of all of us because it started in the past, and that's why the mom started doing her regeneration scene when she died, because her gold flecks came out of her and went to the star. Was that just the soul leaving the body?
Why her? Why did that happen for her at that point?
It was some kind of religious thing with the star.
I mean, it was definitely. I don't know if it was religious. It was. It's fine, and I can say that it was at least like
if you end
it was metaphorical.
On
it was metaphorical.
Bethlehem, it's religious. I said you're saying it's that you can't. You got Bethlehem on there. But you got the three wise men looking for their.
But I mean, that part was. Yes, 100%. But I mean,
the mom was an atheist. Yes.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, so she's going to hell. But she's on her literal deathbed, and she dies, and she turns into star stuff. Like that had nothing to do with the Bethlehem thing. Like it went up into the sky, and then we see that it cuts to like. But anyway, that's fine, I guess, because it was like an emotional metaphor for joy letting that go or something. So maybe that's okay. But like,
I don't know. Is it literal or is it a metaphor? Like,
I thought it can't be literal because it makes no sense.
That's the thing about the star, right? So like when she becomes a star, I think that's just all the way in the past, right? It's even before Jesus is born. So it's like, was it in the same time period as the dinosaur? I can't remember because it's behind like that stone door that they have to open it. But what time line was the stone door in? It must have been in the future because the star had to age up. Right? When they're finding it, because it's at the point where
it grew.
So she turns into a star at that point. That's well after Jesus. So she turns into a star and then goes back into the birth of time to become the star.
Of course, yes.
For everyone to see. But what's the point of it? He's like, oh, joy to the world, of course.
This is my theory.
Jesus is
Stephen Moffat,
they're following the star to
Moffat
joy.
Started from the phrase "joy to the world" and worked backwards from there. That's how it. That's all it was. Joy to the world. Oh, okay. Joy's a person's name. We're gonna make a Christmas story. I got it. That's all it was. I guarantee you, he will never admit it in an interview. But that's what it was. Anyway,
it's fine.
Fine.
I did really like the if I could just cut out the doctor and a chair.
If I cut out the doctor. If I just got the doctor.
Because it's also like an observation, like, hey, there's no chairs in my thing. And you're like, yeah, that is kind of, you never think about that. There are no chairs in the TARDIS. And that part was good. And that's when it's less like whatever. I don't know. It's fine. I feel like I don't know much about joy.
It's just
other than the trauma dump, and
it's
this
so
is
much of that.
this is a terrible thing that happened to my and that happened to me too. Like where we had a friend of my wife's died during COVID, and you couldn't go to the hospital, and we couldn't have a funeral, and like so that's like a lot of still kind of raw.
It was a
emotion
surprise to even
to
go
just
there
sort of
in this story. Absolutely.
yes, in a way that like to your point, like okay, she's a star, and now she's with her. She's giving her mom joy because she's the star. Because the mom recognizes her and says joy. That's where it's got to be like a soul, like her soul.
Yeah, I
is in
mean,
the star.
I have a weird suspicion that we're spending more time thinking about it than
We're
anyone who
putting too much
created
time
the show
into it.
did.
I have a feeling people are going to love this episode, and I feel like they're going to hate us for
That's
being
fine.
so
You don't have to
down
like
on it, but
you don't have to like every story. Not every story can be as good as Space Babies. So it's just
it was better than Space.
It was better than Space
Babies.
Like I said, I wanna make people angry at me even more. Love Shurigawa.
People fall in love.
Love Shurigawa. The amount of crying is excessive.
Okay.
It's excessive.
You said that, but did he cry in this episode? I don't remember that happening. Really?
A lot. When the Silurian dies, tears rolling down his cheeks. Like when
I forgot about this. That's the thing. Like, there's so many characters I totally forgot.
Let me just say,
continue.
like, that is the right reaction. Like, the Doctor should not be cavalier about like people dying left and right. Totally get that, but like he's sitting there on the bed telling the Silurian to remember himself so he doesn't die, which is not a thing that's going to happen. And then he does, and he's like he throughout this at least 5 times. It's just...
and I also say, well, he's seen a lot of people die over the years, and he doesn't know the Silurian. So is that the right reaction? I mean, whatever.
Well,
death
to
is
anyone,
fine, you can cry.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. I blacked that out. I totally forgot. I even forgot about
and
like
you
that
saw it
character.
Twice. Yes.
Like there's just like I don't know, man. And then at the end, you get a shot of like what everyone's doing, right? So you see. I keep calling her Rose. Ruby Sunday and her mom, and then who else? We see some other people, right? We go back to those characters that we're not really that connected to, that are like the woman on the train again. You see her,
right?
Like you return to all of these characters to see how Ruby affected them or something. Christmas.
It was because of Christmas. It's because Christmas. Because Christmas.
All right, I think we're done. I don't have anything else. We didn't tell anyone to tell us what they thought either, so we have no viewer mail. But we do have to. We should watch something together now.
There are forces beyond this universe. So look into them.
Doctor! You need to get me home.
This might be the long way round.
But the games are deadly.
What the hell is this?
So, the new trailer just dropped, season 2 trailer. I will say, my initial reaction, having just literally watched it, I'm actually think it looks pretty good. Especially there's a scene where they're in the movie theater and there's like an animated Cuphead-looking creature coming out.
That looked good.
So I went in having just talked about the Christmas special with you, and having gone through season 1 and how season 1 ended. At an all-time Doctor Who low. So
absolutely.
I had my expectations were low.
The worst 15 minutes of Doctor Who ever.
There was some good stuff in there from that brief 30 seconds or 40 seconds. Who knows?
I like seeing there's a new companion. I like seeing that Ruby will still play a part, and that she got a matronly haircut. That's a cool look.
I was so convinced that she was another Time Lord or another.
You really were. We don't
person
know
from the other. What are they called? The Children of Time or whatever. But I was wrong. She's a regular person.
That's
how that
right.
ended.
She's so ordinary. That's right.
She was just an ordinary Joe. But yeah, you're right.
Special.
We get to see a little bit of the new companion.
Presumably.
Saying you got to take me home, right? That's the
and going the long way around again.
So I wonder if it's going to be like kind of a classic Who situation, like Port Tegan trying to get back to that airport where he can't get her home. Maybe the TARDIS is going to break. And then you won't know where it's going to end up, and they go right back to the.
He's just going to leave her in Heathrow on the runway right next to Tegan. Just drop all of his companions off there.
Do you know the actress?
I did not recognize her.
Yeah, she's in something that I've seen. I was hoping you were gonna know who it was, and now I don't know. I'm excited. I like the animated thing. That was the standout thing. I thought it
Same
looked
here.
very cool, and we don't get that kind of
So,
stuff.
A lot of like flying saucery looking things in one scene that looks kind of okay. Well,
We don't know
I
when
guess
it
we'll find out
premieres, so
whenever
you
it
can
comes.
tell us. So please tell us in the comments or on. You're not on X,
No.
Twitter anymore.
Nope.
I'm still on Blue Sky. I've made a home on Blue Sky.
I haven't really used it, but I'm there. Maybe I'm gonna get back into it this year.
I've been making a point to use it, so I'm on there.
Cool.
ericgrissom.com. That's the website and my handle on Blue Sky. Yeah, I made I had all these things. I had threads. I had all this crap, and I was like, I hate Mark Zuckerberg, and I don't like Meta. I don't like that whole company, and I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, and I'm not a fan of all this. And I'm like, what am I doing? Shut up. I deleted my Threads account, although I kept my Instagram.
Good for you.
I can't get rid of my Instagram because of crap I gotta promote. But I would, in a perfect world, I would. And I haven't deleted my Twitter account. But I think I might. I just know, like, and then someone else would just be E. Grissom.
That's true.
So then maybe I should just keep it up and not post.
That's why I kept mine.
I tried to I downloaded some app that was going to go through and delete all of your posts for you. But it's like so like archaic the way it does it. You log in the app, and then the app you watch in real time as it deletes all of your posts, and it takes like hours. And my like digital hoarder anxiety of seeing the stuff getting deleted, I was having like panic attacks. I'm, like, watching these tweets, like, because I can't let go of this stupid, like, I like that tweet I did.
What you could do
2 years ago.
One thing you can do that they didn't screw up is you can download your entire archive.
I did that. I have the archive.
So then delete everything else. It's cool.
Right. It was just hard to watch.
No, yeah, I get that.
I don't know. It was just like I also tried to do like I turned off my retweets or something where like it was going in and undoing. It's whatever. Because you put that stuff out there and it's like feeding into their Grok or whatever their AI.
I think the only social media platform that really kind of matters anymore
Friendster.
Truth Social. So you find me on Truth Social. I'm at Real Patriot.
I mean, in a perfect world, we would have Truth Social accounts and do everything on Truth Social as like some subversive, like the last place anyone would look, like just constantly sending people to Truth Social. We're just promoting our Doctor Who, our secret Doctor Who podcast on Truth Social. It's almost funny to do that, but I don't. Yeah,
no, it's not worth it.
I don't know. That would be only funny to me.
We're just.
I can't find the actress's name.
Our video is going to be posted on Rumble from now on as well. So.
All right, that's it. I don't know. I don't
have
anything else.
I guess
I was trying to find out the Doctor Who companion she's been in, and I am sitting here like an idiot.
We probably
Varda Sethu. I know her from somewhere. Dan.
Wait!
Oh, she's from Andor, my favorite Star Wars show.
There you go.
Damn it. That's how I know her. Okay, that's it on that.
All right, cool. We did it. Bye.
Good night. Thank you for watching. So, what did you think of the story? Let us know in the comments or write us at theolddoctorwhoshow@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, please let others know about us. Share it on whatever's left of social media these days. If you want to support me, I've got a number of books available for purchase. It really does help a lot. Till next time, be good.
Where's my robot, you know?